We're sitting here in my fabulous, wonderful comic book library, and I'm always adding things and taking things out. But I've pulled some books recently in the last few months that I want to show you guys today. So it's gonna be a comic book haul. I'm gonna flip this camera around, put all these books under the microscope. Stay tuned and watch this video until the end. And we're back. My name is Taylor. This is Taylor Talks Comics. Please give the video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. And hit the bell notification icon so you don't miss any of my videos. And comment down below with any of your thoughts. A lot of these books that I hauled, I do have videos planned in the future. But if there's one book in particular that you want to see me move up the list of scheduling for videos, please, by all means, put that in the comments too. So up first in this haul, of recent hauls, gotta work on my lighting a little bit here, sorry, are the two latest, well actually this is not the latest, but two of the Smudge imprint from Living the Line. So Living the Line is a great publisher. They have a lot of creator-owned comics that they're doing, but now they have a Smudge imprint that Ryan Holmberg is the kind of the front man for. He's doing all the translations and curating, and then Sean Michael Richardson of Living the Line does all the lettering and design work on these, and they look really, really great. Her Frankenstein was actually the first release. The next release was the Mushroom, I'm forgetting the name here, Mushroom, UFO Mushroom Invasion, actually have it right here. Was the second release, and I actually have a video on this book in particular by itself. You can check that on my channel, but I am going to do a video on all three of these books to show off kind of the Smudge imprint later this week, so stay tuned for that. And these are really just cool pulp horror manga. You can see the Smudge imprint on the spine there. They all look really, really great on the shelf too. They're all one and done, which is awesome. You don't find a lot of one and done manga, so I do love that they're kind of curating it towards that. It makes me think a lot of the pulp paperback novels back in the day, where you'll have like the Richard Stark paperback novels or the sci-fi stuff that you'd find, or Conan, or those sorts of things where you can pick any paperback novel off the shelf at the bookstore and you can read it and enjoy it all in one sitting or two. You know, they're pretty quick reads, and the artwork is magnificent. It's crazy horror comics. This one's from the 80s. These two are from the 70s. So they even have like that kind of a nostalgic, classic approach to them as well. So you get a closer look at both of these later this week when I show off that video. Up next is Final Cut by Charles Burns. Yes, I feel like I'm the last person in the world to finally pick this up. This came out last year. I've read it. There'll be a video on it later this week. And let me just say, absolutely mind-blowingly good, as you would expect from Charles Burns. Charles Burns, I've said on my channel a lot of times, Black Hole is my all-time favorite horror comic, and Charles Burns is one of my favorite cartoonists, and this did not disappoint. Again, video out later this week for that one. TMNT, the Mirage years, a collection that I've always wanted to exist. So, longtime viewers on my channel know I have the ultimate collections of the Eastman and Laird years. It's one of my most viewed videos, actually. I'm showing off the first 6 volumes of that. This takes place directly after those 6 volumes. There's actually a 7th volume, which I still need to pick up, by the way, that came out, but that was mostly like art. It was mostly like a monograph. It's like art and bio and behind-the-scenes stuff. But this actually takes place after the City at War story, which is, I think that's actually in volume 5, if I remember correctly. But regardless, the last Eastman and Laird story. And this is all been done by Jim Lawson. He does all the pencils and writing, and then I think Eric Talbot does most of the inks on this. Already read this. There'll be a video out later on this channel. This is 13 issues long. A really, really quick read as well. But I love that this exists because this was a long forgotten era of turtles that had never been collected before. All right, so that's the stuff that I'm doing videos on in the near future. That I've already filmed the videos, or they'll be coming out in the next few days. All the rest of the stuff, I don't have videos planned yet, but if there's comic or something you want me to do a video on and show off, by all means, let me know. This is American Nature. I picked this up in my LCS. And this is done by Greg and Fake of the Santos Sisters fame, which I'm a big fan of. I showed off their collection from Fantagraphics recently. But this is like a zine. And I've been wanting to pick this up because I love a good zine that is like mixture of comics and articles. And I don't really know the contents in here. Unfortunately, this is issue 2. I want to pick up issue 1 if I can find it. But it has like a mixture of interviews, comic book reviews, and comics. And I kind of also aspire to do a zine similar to this. Everybody in the comments, please kick me in the butt so I can get that going. But I want some inspiration, and also I love Greg and Fake, so I gotta pick that up. I finally found a used copy of this. This is Jack Cole and Plastic Man by Art Spiegelman and Chip Kidd. I've been wanting this book for a number of years, and I just can't ever find it for a good price. But I finally laid my hands on a copy at my LCS, and this is like part biography of Jack Cole and part comics of Plastic Man. It is like a monograph, part bio, part ephemera and arts and comics of him. My favorite kind of comics biography, especially since it's a visual medium. And Chip Kidd laid this all out, and I can already tell. So he's like glossy paper for those, but then like the comics themselves are on this like thick newsprint emulated paper. And you can tell that they're really high quality photographs of the issues. But I love Jack Cole, I love Plastic Man, so I finally picked this up, and anytime you get a Chip Kidd book design, it's going to be good stuff. And I can't wait to dive into this. The Invisibles. So The Invisibles, I love the series by Grant Morrison. The Omnibus I used to have, I sold it. And I wanted it in trade paperbacks. So I'm slowly putting together a run of the trade paperbacks. I love the newsprinty, cheap yellow paper. I think it fits with the style of this story. It's kind of pulpy in nature. So that's one reason why I wanted the trade paperbacks. And also there's easier to read than the Omnibus. I think I'm doing this. I am doing a similar thing with the Doom Patrol run by Grant Morrison. I sold that Omnibus and won it in paperbacks, just because it's just easier. Like, I've read it once in the Omnibus. I don't think I'm ever going to read it in the Omnibus again. If I'm likely to read it again, it's going to be in paperbacks that I can throw in my backpack and take on the go. So I'm putting a run of these together. I think I'm missing volumes 3, 5, and 6 is all I need for the Invisibles. The Godzilla Library Collection. So I have a video on my channel showing off the first volume of these. And now I'm up to date. I have volumes 2, 3, and 4. These are really, really cool collections that IDW is putting together. They all match on the shelf. And in my video, I showed off that they're kind of like the Marvel Epic collections. And that IDW is taking everything they have with, everything they've done with Godzilla, and putting it back into print in these library collections in a comprehensive way. So the first volume has a lot of great stuff in there. Has, what is it, Gangsters and Goliaths, that series in there, and also Godzilla, Half Century War, and some other stuff. Now volume 2 here collects, it's just one story. So these are, like, some of them are going to have a few miniseries, some of them are going to have one 12-issue run, because Godzilla up until now, through IDW, has just been like, they'll bring on certain creators to do like a miniseries, a maxi series, that kind of thing. Otherwise, they don't have like an ongoing run until later this year. If you want to check out my free comic book day video that I did, and it's called Who Won Free Comic Book Day. Spoiler alert, IDW did with their Godzilla introduction with the editor Jake Williams, who is bringing Godzilla and doing a full-on continuity, full-on run, ongoing run with Godzilla for the first time in a number of years. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the last time Godzilla had a true ongoing run was like the Marvel era. So otherwise, these will collect some miniseries or maxi series. Volume 2 here collects the Kingdom of Monsters story written by Eric Powell of Goon fame, and pencils by Phil Hester, Victor Santos, And yeah, Phil Hester and Victor Santos. So these also have pinups by other artists throughout here as well. So they're not only just collecting all the Godzilla stories that have been done through IDW, but they're also collecting all the cool pinups they've done. So this one's by Alex Ross. And then you get into the stories. So the entirety of Volume 2, if you just wanted the Kingdom of Monsters story, which has been collected before, but I don't know if it's in print or out of print, you can get that throughout here. And there are chapter breaks between each issue, which I appreciate. And I can't wait to dive into this. I am going to do a video on all these library collections once I get through and read them all. And we get some advertisements in the back, some more pinups, it looks like. Just trying to see if there's any artists that I particularly want to point out. Oh, Eric Powell himself of Goon fame. That's a really cool piece. Oh, another Eric Powell in the art gallery. Then Volume 3 collects, let's see here, History's Greatest Monster by Dwayne Swearinsky, art by Simon Gain throughout here. And that's one of the cool things, too, about all these stories of Godzilla. I need to bump this up a little bit. Is all the cool artists that have come on board throughout. Kind of reminds me a little bit of like how I feel about the Aliens and Predator licenses and all the cool miniseries that they've done throughout the years. So I just love that they're collecting them in this comprehensive way, especially now. Even now we're getting like Godzilla Skate or Die and Godzilla Monsterpiece Theater and Godzilla, what's the one with that Jake Smith did the artwork on and Angel McLean did. I did a video on that one too. But all these miniseries that I'm hoping it will be in future volumes of these library collections that I can collect later. So I'm looking forward to that. Matt Frank. And there's also some artists in here that I've never really become familiar with that'll probably... Oh, this is Art Adams. Anytime Art Adams is doing kaiju monsters, it's a treat. And here's Volume 4. And this is the first part of Rulers of Earth, I think, right? Rulers of Earth 1 through 12. I think Rulers of Earth 13 through 25 is going to comprise Volume 5 of this. So this is actually... the longest series, I don't know, the longest series that IDW ever did. I don't know if that's the case, but the longest one that I'm aware of will be in Volumes 4 and 5. And then future volumes, I'm sure we'll have more mini-series and things. But these are Godzilla stories I've never read, so I'm excited to dive into these and do a review of these on my channel. Just one more look at the pinups. Oh, there's only a few pinups in the back of this one. Okay. So that's Godzilla Library Collection Volumes 2 through 4. Up next, I got some more eerie and creepy magazine collections. I did a video on my channel last October for the Halloween horrors, which I will tell you I'm going to try to do that again this year. 31 days of horror comics all throughout October. I'm already prepping things for that. So stay tuned if you're into horror comics. You want to check out my channel. And there's actually a playlist on my channel for last year's installment where I did 31 days of horror. If you want to check that out. But I did do a video on Creepy and Eerie magazine. And I only had Creepy Volume 1 and Eerie Volume 1 through 3 at the time. So now I'm trying to slowly keep up with these because they're pumping these out. I think they're already up to Volume like 9 or 10 for both of them. So I need to catch up. But these are the black and white magazines from Warren Magazine back in the day. Oh, Adam Link in Business. So this is a continuation of the iRobot story by Eando Bender, which was Otto Bender and his brother. I think that's one of the few stories that continues throughout issues of Creepy magazine. But yeah, a lot of great artists throughout here. And ooh, who's this artist on this? Alex Toth. Okay, I was gonna say I recognize that art. Alex Toth in here. You'll see like Steve Ditko in here too. The colors, the covers of the magazine are in color. And they keep everything in here, like the advertisements on the back and everything. So these are true like facsimile editions too. It's a really fun read. You get all the letter columns. Really cool black and white art. So I got Creepy Volume 2 and I got Eerie Volume 4 and 5. So I'm collecting all the paperbacks of these because I missed out on the hardcovers back in the day. But I'm hoping to put the full run together in these paperbacks. They're only $24.99 cover price. You can find them for even cheaper than that wherever you shop for comics online. And they're just they're like 200 pages of some of the best horror comics you'll ever read. And by some of the best artists you'll ever see. So why not? Next two are from the European flavor. This one I'm so excited to dive into. This is from Caza, the Arkadi and the Lost Titan. Never read this before. The cover is absolutely brilliant. This was a Kickstarter, but I guess it's been released in the direct market now. So these are available if you hunt in the right places. I got my copy from, I think, Cheap Graphic Novels. Yeah, that's where I got mine. But yeah, there's a foreword by Fabrice Geiger in here, and then a prologue. And this is just like 500 pages or something, 400 pages. Yeah, 500 plus pages of some of the greatest European artwork you'll see. It's on this matte paper. Again, I've never read this before. Caza is one of the few of the early heavy metal or metal hurlant artists that I have not read before. You think of like Mobius and Richard Corbin even, and Druillet. Caza is going to be new to me, so I can't wait to dive into this. But yeah, it's a big chunk of a book. I probably will do a video on this very shortly, just because that's on my to be read list very, very soon. Speaking of Druillet, this is the last book I'll show off. He is an artist that I've read bits and pieces of back here and there, but I've never done an extensive read of. His artwork is mind-blowingly psychedelic and insane and trippy and incredible. So I picked up the first box set of the Lone Sloane stuff. I think I might try to put the run of Lone Sloane together. And but this is a really cool box set that put out by Titan. And it includes these books right here, which I'll show off here. But if you never read Lone Sloane, you're in for a treat. Just like looking at this, watching this video, because this artwork is absolutely insane. It did come with cool little, they're not postcards, but they're little pinup cards with the cover of each book. So I just put them inside the book that they correspond with. But it's like you take, I don't know, Jack Kirby, and you inject a bunch of like acid and every science fiction thing you could ever imagine. Maybe some H.R. Geiger and maybe some, I don't know. And it's just insanely, mind-blowingly good, this artwork. So I can't wait to finally just dive in and actually read Lone Sloane all the way through. And it'll probably inspire me to pick up the other volumes after this. But this artwork is just so good. Like, truly did not give any F's about panel layouts and things or traditional grids, and just did his own thing on each page. And I love that's released in these like European album formats rather than like single issues and things. So I'll be reading all three of these. I'll probably do a video shortly on this box set as well. But if there's a book that I showed off, like I said, I do have plans to do videos on them. But if you want me to move them up the schedule, if you're wanting to see a closer look on any of these in like the next week or so, let me know. But that's books that I've hauled recently. Lone Sloane, Caza, Eerie, and Creepy magazines. Some of these are from Free Comic Book Day when I went, did a little shopping there. And some are just from other things I got. But yeah, stay tuned on this week, though, because I'll have the Turtles review. I'll have Final Cut, and I'll have the Smudge imprint video coming out shortly as well. Thank you guys for watching. Please put in the comments what you want to see or any comments you have about any of these books, your thoughts on them, and give the video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and everyone, keep talking comics.